Places!
Thank you, places!
Let's do this. Welcome to the Thank You Places podcast, celebrating the art of theater and the amazing people who make it happen.
Join us as we sit down to talk about our experiences, the shows we see, and what's happening on the local theater scene right here in Springfield, Missouri.
Today we're going to introduce you to the young, scrappy, and hungry hosts of the podcast and the faces of the larger Thank You Places project.
We'll be sharing how theater has found its permanent role in our lives and how that love for the arts turned into dreams, which turned into the product you're listening to right now.
Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the first episode of the Thank You Places podcast. Everyone who is listening, wherever you are, and everybody who is watching this on the YouTubes. That felt like introing worship at church. Everyone in person, everyone online. Hello, I am one of your three hosts, Nathaniel Parrales. To my right here.
I'm Allison Barker.
And I'm Noel Parrales.
They're married.
To be clear, we want to be clear on that. And then this is our child.
Yes, I'm
Our
their baby.
unofficial child. Don't write me, Janae.
Oh, my mom.
This is we don't really know what's going to happen right now. This is an exciting, crazy sort of endeavor. We have started a troupe. Some social media went up recently. If you've seen that, just a general creative theatrical troupe to do whatever the heck it is we feel like doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, this podcast is the first step in that. We're gonna chat about anything and everything theater, shows we've seen, shows we love, things that we're doing in our local community. Gonna try to really push a local area here. We're in Springfield, Missouri, so we're gonna try to push the Ozarks scene there. So let's go around. Now we've gotten our names, established our relational context. Go around and starting over here with my lovely wife. Talk about who we are, what we do, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Where am I from?
Where is she from?
Where are you not
That
from?
is the question, and you'll understand why.
So I grew up overseas and did not have a lot of opportunities to be in theater. But when I was in the States for a year of public school, I was part of a show and then fell in love with it. And of course, fell in love with the 25th anniversary edition of Phantom of the Opera on Netflix at the time. And that was my jam. And then I get to college and had a great time doing theater. And so here I am struggling to get some theater things happening. But we're doing good. I work a part-time job as a daycare cook. And then in my other time, I costume professionally, which is wild because I never thought I'd be doing that. I have a business degree and did not expect to be sewing and working with my hands as much as I am, but it's a great time, great life.
Yeah.
What was that first show that you were in?
I was in Tom Sawyer.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the next semester I was Golda in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, you were.
And that was the true beginning with the musical. It was a great time.
Valid. All right, I'm Allie. I grew up right here in Southwest Missouri in Mount Vernon, teeny little town, about 30 minutes outside Springfield. I have been dancing since I was 3 years old, but I didn't get into theater at all until my senior year of high school when I played Jovi in Elf Jr. the musical. That was a fun time. It was really good. But I fell in love with theater my sophomore year of high school when my dad took me to see Wicked. When it came here to Springfield, I knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. Or at least be involved in it in some way, somehow. So in comparison to a lot of people, very relatively new to this world, but I'm learning and I'm here and I love it. And I love acting and singing and dancing. So, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all kind of in that same spot. We're a little bit. We didn't go into we haven't been raised in doing shows our whole life and stuff, but we're here now and it's our show now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, way down south where it's a lot warmer. And like I said, wasn't involved with theater heavy growing up, but I was in a bunch of church shows, musicals, not really shows, church music. I put on the bathrobe and I was the shepherd at Christmas time. that whole thing. One time they asked me to be Jesus. I've always been dramatic and I've always been the diva. I just didn't know that that was. And now I have a place to channel that in probably a healthier way. I am currently working at a theater tech company here in Springfield. Theater tech being kind of broad. The shop does all kinds of things from rigging, setups, repairs, lighting,
Easter bunny costumes.
So we're recording this the day after Easter, which means that all day today at work, I had lighting rentals coming back all day, and our costumer had like 15 Easter bunnies come back because we do costume rentals, makeup rentals, and all. It is a lot of work and stressful most days, but it's in theater, so that's I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So
I totally forgot to mention what I do.
It go ahead.
Kind of left my brain. I work at the Assemblies of God National Headquarters with the National Fine Arts Festival. I'm the administrative coordinator. And if you don't know what the Fine Arts Festival is, it is every year thousands of kids come and they present. They do so many things, short sermons, and they do art and photography and dancing and singing and puppetry and all sorts of stuff. And so I help put together that event, and it's really fun. That's what I do.
Which your forgetting prompted my forgetting that I forgot to say what show I was in as well. I mean, it's not a formula, but it is a formula. Because when I was in freshman year of high school, I was homeschooled, but I went to this co-op that was a pretty large co-op, had a big theater program in it. And so I was Wayne Frake in State Fair Junior. And if you don't know what that is, I didn't either. Most people don't. It's at Old Rogerson Hammerstein. But I immediately fell in love with it a few rehearsals in, and after that, doing the whole theater department thing became a non-negotiable for me the rest of the way through high school. Everything kind of revolved around that. The three of us came into the same auditorium, if you will. It's just gonna be cheesy puns from me.
Get ready, everybody.
It ain't cheesy. It don't go down easy.
Now we're just getting meta there. All three of us landed from our separate spots. Frankly, Allie's the only one it makes sense for. Landed at Evangel University right here in Springfield, Missouri, by wild chains of events, and ended up in the theater department. We were in My Fair Lady together in 2019.
Spring of 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 2023 now, so a dull ache just spread across my back. That's not even that long, but so much life has happened since then.
You've gotten married.
I've gotten married. I started dating and got married since then, because that was another thing for another type of podcast discussion. So that was the first show that all three of us were in together. We were involved in lots of things.
Nathaniel and I were actually in A Christmas Carol together our freshman year.
I wasn't there yet, though.
Hoot. Yeah. Because we're a year older than you.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, none of us, this was something as we were putting together this kind of pattern for today, I realized that none of us went into college studying theater at all, not even a little bit. Again, we're like late bloomers in terms of theater, if you
Very
will.
much.
But again, we're here now. Yeah, we did not come in studying initially. You said it already.
I studied business, yeah. And then I picked up a theater minor because I wanted to impress a boy.
No boy in particular.
It worked out.
Nobody in particular, right?
This is so embarrassing. I was a music major for a total of 3 days. And then I was like, I don't want this to turn into something I hate. So, yeah. And then I was undeclared the entire freshman year. And then I took on a double major of English and theater. Yeah.
I didn't know that until I was making our little social media post about it. I was like, wait, you were a double major? How did you die? How did you survive?
How'd you die?
How did you die?
How did you die?
I did not, in fact, survive.
No, I know you didn't.
I'm barely here.
We are all still recovering sleep-wise.
I don't know. The business department was a joke. It was a great time. I loved it.
I didn't realize that you were a music major for 3 days.
3 days.
No.
Yep.
No. I was a music major the whole time. Not to toot my own horn or anything. I came into college as a worship leadership major. I just knew that I wanted to do music.
Excuse
I think
us.
our neighbor just died.
The music shut off and there was a loud thumping.
We're recording this in an apartment, and not a very thick-walled apartment. So I don't know how much of that's going to transfer into these mics, but that's what we're reacting to. So worship leadership, music. At the time, I was leaning more into like songwriting and touring and stuff, which I mean, you know, could still pop back up. You never know. So I went with the worship leadership degree in the hopes to kind of focus more on contemporary styles of music and learning. And then I was doing shows at Evangel because the non-majors and minors can audition, and I kept doing it, and it was into first semester sophomore year. My dates get all mixed up here, but first semester sophomore year that I was standing in the middle of the theater after a strike for a show we just finished doing Our Town, and I was already playing with a theater minor kind of thing, something, but at that point that I was like, why am I not making this my degree? And so long story short, many trips with multiple advisors and a film and broadcast minor.
That was a weird time in
Later
your
for a
life.
semester,
that was a weird time in your life.
By and by, I got to a BA in music with a theater emphasis. But I took so many theater credits that my diploma definitely credits me with a theater and music double major.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that.
Fantastic.
I also take credit for the formation of Evangel's musical theater program. Whether or not it was actually my thing, I take credit for it. Speaking of college theater, and this can go, we've done community theater and such now since then, but that college theater is still like the bulk of our experience. What was a great moment of your theater career thus far? What has been? And what was a not so great moment maybe?
Yeah, so we're doing happies and crappies.
Happies and crappies.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My happy was definitely Sally Brown. Are we talking about just college, or are we talking
I
about...
guess it could be anything.
Okay.
I guess we haven't talked about community theater stuff yet,
That's
but I
true.
mean, we can include that as well.
Still, Sally Brown, she brought so much confidence into me. I played Sally Brown in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And yeah, that was my first lead role since high school, and it was the first, like, valid role that I ever felt I got, because, I mean, my high school department was just rough. So I felt validated, and I felt excited, and I felt so confident. She brought so much confidence into my life, and she was so fun, and it was just a good semester, and it was just good. Yeah. It was a fun show. It was
a fun show.
It was easy. It wasn't easy, but it was easy.
It wasn't serious, and so it was a lot of fun.
It doesn't
to do.
take itself serious, so it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, but it was so much fun.
It was a hot mess.
It was
but
a hot mess.
fun.
Yeah, so much fun. So, yeah. Are we doing all happies and then all crappies? Okay.
One of my favorite memories is also from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I'm thinking about it because it came up in my memories today on my phone.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, no.
when did we do You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown?
It was
2020?
2021.
2021.
Graduation
Yeah, 'cause it was our
year.
graduation year for us. I have pictures of all of us girls in that cast in the dressing room with dinosaur tattoos.
Yeah,
like on our midriffs.
We stuck on temporary dinosaur tattoos. Sally Brown had a dinosaur tramp stamp for the last weekend of that show.
It was such a good time. It was so much bonding and
was so
things.
good.
It was like tighter than I feel like I experienced in any other show.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was trauma bonding, is what it was.
It was trauma bonding.
Yes.
But it was a great time.
Yeah.
Y'all were so like bonded and connected in that dressing room, and the guys were just trying to get
Oh
through.
no!
You know, and then I was playing Schroeder, so I just forced everyone to listen to Beethoven every show when we were in the dressing room.
We were listening to like Lady Gaga and Elton John. It was
I
a
listened
good time.
exclusively to Beethoven, like the tech and show weeks of that
So
show.
so in character. Wow.
Oh, a fun thing to just keep harping on Charlie Brown. I think something fun about that show was how more so I think student led it was than anything else.
Yeah.
I think
Very
that was
much.
also one of the first shows where I felt like I am making this happen, not just I'm here, I'm
Exactly.
doing a role. You know, every role is important, but we quite literally carried that show
Yeah.
in. It
Yeah,
was very
we did.
student
The
heavy.
three of us and our other friend,
Because our
built the
director was
set
in and
to a
out
point,
with
and it was a
health
time.
stuff
Health issues.
sometimes.
She was
It
just
going
having
on
health
that
issues,
semester, and so it was just a lot of. It was our first big show post COVID.
Yes.
My
gosh.
Can you
I'm
believe
gonna-
they almost made us do it in masks?
Almost did.
Almost.
It's very student driven.
It was. I'll never forget that night where it was over spring break, where we stayed in the theater until literally 3 a.m. painting the stage and getting those boxes cut out and painted.
That
and-
was honestly one of my best memories.
Same.
College, it was such a good time.
Before
I think that was going to be one of my.
well, because the stage was still painted like a beige color from Little Women, which we never got to do. So we wrote all over the stage before we painted it. So we're there in the middle of the night writing ourselves little notes and drawing things, and then we painted over it, and
It's like a fresh start.
it was
beautiful.
it was
cathartic.
honestly it was really beautiful and
I'm
cathartic.
glad that it was the three of us that got to do that because it was a really good.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, but
And we quite literally put our blood, sweat, and tears into that show.
Yeah, I did bleed several times.
my hand still hurts from jigsawing those boxes out. So Charlie Brown has these acting boxes that basically most of the set is comprised just of acting boxes, and we got
I designed
extra
these acting
fancy
boxes.
and Noel designed things into them to
silhouettes.
Oh, they were
silhouettes of
beautiful.
characterization
stuff to
things.
They
and
were
then I went
beautiful.
and cut them all out, and my hand was in so much pain
Yeah.
by the end of that night.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Those were dang good acting boxes.
They were great acting
They
boxes.
still use them.
They do. It's true. You have was that going to be your high, or was that?
That was my high.
your high?
The dinosaur tattoos.
Yeah.
My low was during Little Women. I played
my
a
gosh.
hag. It was not great.
It was 5 seconds too.
Yeah, it was 5 seconds. Not just a whole show.
That whole show
should
was
always be double cast. Never not double cast
Agreed.
Little Women. It's the worst. But yeah, I was also a dancer, and I was very excited because the majority of the show I was a hag, and that does something for a girl's confidence, let me tell you. But I got to put on a very pretty ball gown and dress up and dance, and it was a great time. One rehearsal, I got sick and had to stay home, and this just course of events, they almost replaced me with Allison, and they asked, would you dance? And Allison goes, wait, isn't Noel the one who's supposed to be dancing? And she turned them down, and I'm very thankful for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really crappy moment. I was like, oh god,
sorry, friend.
I'm so replaceable.
If there's
No.
No, I know now. I'm okay. But at the
We're
time,
about to have an intervention. If there's any low in theater life at all, I think it's Little Women is the baseline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
At that
agree.
point.
A lot of
I'm
people-
sorry, anybody listening to this who was
So
involved in that
sorry.
show. You all were doing so great.
It was yeah.
That show was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And I have friends.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
I have friends who did Little Women with Small Umbrella Theater like a couple years ago, and their production was beautiful, and they had a great time, and so they all have beautiful memories of Little Women. And every time it's brought up,
like-
I just have like
that's
traumatic experiences.
It's
of,
because
oh God, Little
it's
COVID
Women.
show.
COVID hit right in the middle of it, and we were all told, go home. Maybe we'll do it a weekend later, and we didn't.
Yeah.
And it was just,
Yeah.
with everything else going on, it was just
rough.
Every
It was so rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every thespian has their COVID show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely the low bit, but we don't want to talk about that.
No, but tell me your crappy moment, Allie.
All right. I had a lot of crappy moments in college, but it's okay. Because it was a learning experience. My crappy was definitely the fall semester of my senior year. We had just gotten finished with our capstone. I co-directed a show with two of my peers,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
fun. It was great. We had to recast like 2 weeks out, and that was
Oof.
really rough because the girl got COVID.
And
And
the day of.
it, what?
And the day of.
Oh, I forgot. At like our like soft opening of it, I had to jump in and just play the mom.
Oh my God, I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I think I blocked that out because it was really. Oh, that was. Whew, that
Ooh,
was
you
scary.
good?
But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to bring that up.
It
I
was
just-
like 5 minutes before they were like, "You're going on." I was like,
It worked though with the
She
hand. I did
slayed
that.
though
Oh.
to say I didn't realize that she wasn't supposed to be in it.
"I'm pretty
until-
sure I had my script."
You did.
It was just your character. It made sense for your character to have a book like all
well,
the time.
okay.
Like
All
it
right.
worked.
Well, then it
I
worked.
didn't even notice.
Anyways, that went great, and well, as great as it could with COVID and everything. But then that same semester they were doing Diary of Anne Frank, and I told the director, "Hey, I want to stage manage this show because I want experience stage managing." I did not. I mean I did at the time, but so I started stage managing, and I'm gathering props, and I'm out in my free time at other theaters around the community and thrift stores looking for props because we didn't have enough, and it was so stressful, and I was dealing with
All sorts of stuff.
I was dealing with an immense amount of like personal emotions, and it was so much, and I had to be like, I cannot do this. And I've never in the middle of something I've committed to had to be like, I cannot. And so yeah, I just felt like I let a bunch of people down. And wow, this just got really real.
It was like, yeah, we've settled in now.
I'm okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm past it, and I have learned not to take on more than I can handle. But oh man, yeah, I just felt like I
Sometimes
I
that
feel that.
happens.
Yeah.
I've had nights. The last show I costumed, I came home a couple of nights bawling to Nathaniel, having a little meltdown, being like,
Yeah.
I can't do this. But I did it, and it was fine.
I made it sound like I've never quit something before. That's a lie. I definitely have, but that was like the most potent.
That's like other people are involved.
Other
There's a
people are
difference
involved.
between
And like it was
Yeah.
your
Quitting
senior year,
something.
so there's big goals
Yes.
for everything, and
Yeah.
There's a difference between letting yourself down and letting others down.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I made a couple of mistakes that I didn't know were mistakes, and
Yeah. This is a whole rough time.
it was a whole rough time.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
rough stretch of years all together.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
But now we're grown adults.
Woo! Everything's fine. We love being adults.
We're doing so good.
I don't know about y'all. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's fine. Could be worse. I don't miss being in school
Me neither.
at all.
No.
I'm like, I miss certain aesthetics. I miss certain people.
The
I miss,
aesthetics,
like,
that's
the
it.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
I miss
college.
being inundated with knowledge and growing.
Yeah.
I don't miss being in school though.
No.
Like,
Yeah. I miss, like, the freedom of not having to think, because I'm a housewife now, too. I have to think about food and, like, laundry and things.
That's
and,
it.
like, I'm also in a relationship, and so I have to think about my husband and stuff. And so it's like, I'm not just an individual who can go to the cafeteria and have food presented for me, or like go sit someplace else and someone else is going to clean it, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
It's rough.
yeah. You're like, your goal was set for you.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yes.
you're super objective, to borrow the acting term.
Put it into words.
I learned something, Doc. Your like grand objective was set out for you. Go to classes, get a degree. Now I have to set my own objectives.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, you put it into perfect. Wow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you say-
I've been mulling over that truth,
Oh, wow.
brooding over it for some time.
Nice. Did you say you're happy and crappy?
Crappy. What's your crappy?
My crappy.
Your happy was Charlie Brown, right?
More or less.
Crappy
Our
is a
happies were Charlie
Yeah.
Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Crappy
it
is a
was-
type of fish, and so every time y'all say crappy, I just think of a fat fish.
Aw.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Just give us your crappy.
Yeah, Charlie Brown was probably high college-wise.
Uh-huh.
In my whole theater career, we can talk about that high in a minute. But that was me. It was a senior year. It was great. It was emotional. Crappy. I'm gonna go a slightly more humorous route
Okay.
because
Yeah,
Lift the mood.
lift our
mood a
spirits
little
a
bit.
little
I'm sorry
bit.
that I
Sorry.
No,
brought
it
so
was
low.
great. It was great. It was
No, I
perfect.
also was very sad.
And please, somebody talk longer than me, otherwise, because I'll just keep going.
Same.
I'll cut you off.
No, thank you. Aside from like Little Women and the mess of that business, a like embarrassing moment, if you will, it wasn't really, but during Our Town again, which was my first semester sophomore year, whatever year that was, 2018, I don't know. That was a rough semester for many reasons. The show was honestly like, the show had its own stresses, but it was an escape, honestly. Anyways, the Evangel backstage area is set up. It's small, but it's like a lot of doors things. So if you can picture with me, if you will, the stage left wing, that's there. And then there's a door outside of that into like a short hallway, which leads to the workshop. And then another door, and then the green room. And in the green room, we had a TV set up to hear what was going out there. So this was actually during like a tech rehearsal, thank God. But I had a point where I had to come into the stage left wing and say one line off stage. That was all. Just one line. I had one job. Literally one job in that show. And it'd been fine. It was like towards Act 3. I've never had problems with it. I'm sitting in the green room doing my homework. And again, you have to understand, I am like always at my cues way too early because I am paranoid about missing cues.
Yeah.
So I'm always where I need to be way too early.
Yep. Same.
And I just got in the zone doing homework back in the green room, and then I hear from our TV my cue line, and it's one of those moments where like everything slows down and you have to figure out like, what do I do? You're like, option A, it's tech rehearsal.
Miss it.
They'll go on with it. I'll
Yeah.
get yelled at later, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or I can try really hard to make this one line work. So I just, in a split second, shove my computer back. The cue line has been said. Like, at this point. We're in dead space now.
Stress.
I push my computer back.
Gosh.
And of course I'm in the back of the green room too. Leap over several people through the door, into the hallway, through the next door, and I don't even get into the wing. I just open the door, lean in, and yell my line. And honestly, the whole thing only took about 2 seconds. Like, it wasn't that long of a pause at the end of the day. All of that happened in a split second. There's I guess a happy involved with that, in that I walked back into the green room and everyone just stood up and started clapping. So
because you didn't miss it.
I remember hearing about this when it happened. Yeah.
And high at the same time.
Oh. All right.
I tell that story like at least once every couple of months. Like,
yeah.
It's one of my like big thing. Enough about college.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We moved on.
We have moved on. Not very recently. Again, that's been like the bulk of our theater experience so far.
Yeah.
But since college, we've all three stayed in the Springfield area for reasons, and have gotten involved with, I think at this point, at least Noel and I have been involved with all of the major community theaters by this point.
Yeah.
And Allie is making her rounds as well.
Making my way downtown.
We started in Marshfield, which is about half an hour out from here.
Yeah.
Got into Springfield Little Theater, which is like the biggest stage of Springfield, if you will. And then Noel and I just recently got involved with Springfield Contemporary, which is kind of all kinds of found space, black box theater, etc. What has been... I feel like you're judging me.
Oh no, I was just laughing because Springfield Contemporary Theater, one of their taglines is adult theater, because they deal with more serious topics and
grown up.
I think
but they go grown up theater, and I'm like, what is
real,
what?
immersive, grown up
theater. Yeah, I know that makes me laugh because they're all adults. Everybody is. No. What do you think has been what's different about the vibe? Good, different, bad, different. How is this is gonna be really broad, but how has the community theater life been now?
I think it's different. It's a lot more fulfilling, I think, because the people that are involved thoroughly want to be involved.
Yeah.
Like, they have real jobs and are going out of their way to participate in art and things. And it's not to say college theater is flippant, because it's definitely not. It's definitely very intense in a lot of ways, and it's a hot mess to juggle all the things that you're responsible for as a student. But I think it's a totally different vibe in like adult theater. Yeah. Because, you have a real life and a real job.
I agree. It's a lot to juggle.
It is.
Yeah.
And the people who are there really thoroughly want to be there. And if they can't put forth the effort, they get cut.
Yeah.
They're like, sorry, you can't do it anymore.
Whew. Dang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well,
yeah.
Most of them.
Most.
Oh, spicy. Oh, spicy.
Tea.
Okay. I didn't plan that just for that one bit, but that's good now.
I think one of the things that's a lot different, and not necessarily, I don't know, it kind of sucks, because when you're in college and you're a theater major, you're there for theater. And so when you're in a show, it's like there's grace. You can skip a class if you need to, if you really need to. Like, you can do your homework in the green room, and like there's give and there's take. But, you get out into the world and you have a 9 to 5, and then you're going straight to rehearsal. It's like, when do you eat? What do you eat? When
Lots
do you sleep? How well do you sleep? There's not as much give and take at all. So you've got to be...
Nathaniel and I decided that we would never be in a show together at the same time, because somebody has to like keep the household running, and yet we're both involved in a show that's starting in like a couple of months.
A couple of weeks.
In like a couple of weeks. I have a production meeting in a couple of weeks, but rehearsals don't start until the 7th of May. So
we went for the trade-off of we can actually see each other.
Yeah.
We might nobody might take out the trash, but we'll see each other.
Yeah.
That's valid.
It's
Yeah.
like
Guys.
that step between, especially with like Springfield Little Theater, which again is like the biggest show or the biggest company in Springfield, and even contemporary, you know, they do smaller set stuff, but a very high standard there. It's like the in between line of academic and like professional, of like, we're honestly doing our best to put out professional level shows, but doing it while that's not our job, or, you know, we have another job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Or like, I mean, the purpose of college shows is to train college students.
Yeah.
In community theater and like the next level up of theater, you're charging money for professional shows, and it's just everyone's held to a little bit of a higher standard, or it's not meant for education for the actors, it's meant to be a performance.
Entertained?
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah. I've enjoyed it because in college, I mean, I acted more and like helped with the technical theater stuff, but now that I'm out of college, I mean, I'm working as a costumer, and so I'm involved a lot more with the behind the scenes stuff, and it's really interesting to see how that's way different than in college.
Yeah.
I don't know how other schools are, but having like your professor be your director kind of thing versus like having an actual directorial team and everything's split up really well and so like it's really interesting to see the differences.
Yeah.
Blanked something.
Oh no.
You had him. Oh no, that was I think one of the first things that hit me. I mean, my first show out of college was Marshfield Community Theater, which was, I mean, still a step up as far as, you know, the vibe, but they're still smaller still. But it was when I went to Springfield Little Theater and was involved in a show, and the set was just getting built around me. And again, coming from Charlie Brown, where we stayed up, the three of us said, somebody's got to finish this set.
Or else it will not get
Somebody's got to build these boxes, and stayed up till 3 a.m. on spring break to get them done. The set just built up around me at these other theaters. And I have since then never been involved in tech of some show. Like, I've never, in a show that I've been acting in, never
had
come
to
in
also
for a work
be part
day
of the tech
or anything. And that's definitely the norm. Like, again, in college, everyone pitches in to make the thing happen. On the professional level, there's a job for every single thing that's going on around there. And so that's technically the professional norm. But I was still like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I came into rehearsal and the set was here, and then I came in the next night
and there was more,
and somebody else was building something here. Like, I didn't have to hang a single light fixture. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
What a great chat, you guys.
Yeah.
So, Nathaniel, would you tell us where we're going with this podcast in the future?
Please.
See, I told
Let us in on this.
She told me she'd cut me off. Yeah. So what is the point of all this? Our future episodes will probably be a little tighter, a little more structured. We just wanted to kind of be laid back and chat and bring you guys up to who the heck these people are and why you should care. So the future bit, this podcast is kind of the first outreach bit of Thank You Places, the troupe. And the troupe is really just kind of a all around,
it's a conglomerate.
Collective, a creative safe space, if you will. Because all three of us have, between the three of us, there are plenty of areas, even within theater, that we can represent and that we do things in. So it's a place for us to just have something that's pushing us to keep getting better and to keep putting out art, whether we're acting, whether we're, I don't know, besides acting.
Acting,
writing,
improv,
designing.
That's also acting. Yeah, designing, stuff like that. So what we'll be doing here on the podcast is just talking about the shows that we're seeing. It is it's April 10th right now, so it's
prime theater season.
So we're going to a lot of shows. Like we're going to like 3 or 4 shows in just the next like 2 weeks. A lot of shows right now. So we're gonna talk about those and
gonna bring in some guests to talk about those shows that I've been in,
and talk with people about what their ambitions and thoughts are with theater. We'll talk about shows that we love, and we'll talk a bit about just some various theater things. Kind of random, it's its own kind of cult of a thing with its own verbiage and whatnot. So we go in and explain just kind of what's going on. We want it to be fun and also kind of an educational bit, share our world with everything.
Do we want to say why it's called Thank You Places?
That's a great idea, Allie.
That was not scripted, you guys.
Yeah,
He made it sound like
that's
it was scripted.
Idea.
That's such a good
That's
idea.
just how you sound.
I do not have everything. I just don't have everything written down here. So here's your first lesson in acting in theater.
If you're an amateur.
Because we are so professional.
We're so professional.
No, I'm a paid professional.
That's true.
Noel has gotten paid for her work.
Actually.
The rest of us,
shockingly,
right? So Thank You Places. One of the really key things for any sort of production is communication. You have so many moving parts in a show, and it's just customary when a direction is shouted out, someone's saying, hey, take a 5-minute break, or
curtain,
especially with like movement. If someone's like, hey, I'm bringing this fly down to work on it, you're gonna get hit in the head. Anytime something's called out like that, it's customary for everyone in the area to answer back with thank you blank. So the big one when it's time to get in your spot for the start of a show is they call out places. This is Thank You Places. And so
Shall we demonstrate?
Places?
Thank you, places.
I'm used to screaming it at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, to be heard from the back
places.
of your dressing room.
Yeah.
Just indicating that, all right, I have heard you and I am getting to where I need to be ready to make this happen.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense as well, we are saying we are ready to make things happen.
Aww. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that.
So, what are some shows that we're gonna be talking about in the next couple of weeks?
See, that was scripted.
That was
scripted.
We've seen The Play That Goes Wrong.
Yep, that's going to be some of next week. We'll be talking with somebody who was involved in a production of that.
I saw Children of Eden a couple weeks ago, and
we're seeing it this weekend.
So that'll come out as well. And then Springfield Little Theater is putting out Pippin, which I am really excited to. Yes. I've actually never seen that one, but I know that is a really popular.
They're partnering with 417, which is our Springfield area code. 417 Fitness or Aerial Fitness, which does
they do silks.
Silks and lycra
hoops and things. Lycra? Yeah, lycra.
Because lycra is also a type of fabric, and so I was like, wait.
All these cool aerial stunts and things.
I've seen several videos from their rehearsal processes so far, and it's gonna be
really
cool.
fun.
Yeah,
we're also gonna go see The Great Gatsby in Marshfield. And Nathaniel and I are involved in Urinetown, the Springfield Contemporary Theater.
Oh, and I'm seeing Legally Blonde next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So
that's a tour. That's a big one. She paid the big bucks for that one.
Big old theater time. Yeah. We're so excited.
Yeah, it is show season. So, well, Well, Allie and I, we don't, unless you have something I don't know about, don't really have any personal plugs to put out. But Noel
does.
where can people find you?
People can find me at noelandparrales.com.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, you can go see my not updated portfolio and look at some of my recent work.
Yeah.
So
She says not updated, but there's a ton of stuff on there.
it's just not the most recent stuff. I just haven't added anything new.
But there's still a lot.
There's still a lot.
Yeah.
There's
She
me with the
does.
beard. That's all that matters.
Yeah, true. And as the Lorax.
That's great.
It is the Lorax.
And that's the Lorax.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does everything.
Yeah.
Alterations.
Ah.
She's just a creative consultant. So
Yeah.
whatever you need, especially if you're in the Springfield area, you need something out
Yeah.
there, hit her up.
Yeah.
I gotta plug her more. It's my wife, you know.
Thanks.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We hope you have enjoyed, and we'll be talking with some people. We'll be having a guest next time around to talk about some recent stuff that she's done, and we will see you then.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Thank You Places podcast.
If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast and share it with your friends.
For more information and to stay up to date, check out Thank You Places on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at Thank You Places Troop. That's TROUPE.
Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.